Your ideal customer has completely changed how they decide who to trust and who to buy from. And most growing businesses haven't caught up yet. And if you serve older adults, the gap is even wider. Today's average senior owns 7 devices. That's 7 devices. They check online reviews, scan your website, and compare you to competitors, all before they ever pick up the phone to call you. And AI is making it even worse. Fake reviews, AI generated websites, chatbots pretending to be people. If you don't pass the trust test, they just move on and call someone else. I recently shared this with a room full of senior care business owners at the McKinney Chamber, and the data stopped them cold. In the next 20 minutes, you'll hear about the 3 behavior shifts changing how seniors make every decision, and 3 things you could do this week to get found, get trusted, and get chosen. And make sure to stay to the end because I also shared a free tool that shows you exactly where you're losing trust and what to fix right now. Now let's get into it. Either way. So as Patrick mentioned, I'm here to talk about seniors tech trends in 2026, particularly in the context of how you all are reaching out to them or how you all can better reach them with all the different ways that you're reaching them, how you can understand them better so that you can serve them better. Go here. There we go. All right, so quick about me. Kofi Annan, I run a company called The Brand Sensei where we actually help our clients move beyond just referrals and ads and really, again, understand how different seniors and different audiences are interacting and what they expect from businesses, and then how to better serve them, how to find them. I've worked with, I've been in this space for over 15 years, helping people grow their customer base. I've worked in Moderna, Bayer, Horizon, CVS, and more than 30 smaller businesses. I've been featured in Entrepreneur Magazine, Wall Street Journal, and like I said, the Brand Sensei. But more importantly, why I'm communicating this to you is that this is the context to which I'm going to be talking to you about the behaviors and what I've seen work with companies of all sizes as it relates to how they better understand who they're serving. The 65 plus population in Texas is growing faster than any other age group. And I think a lot of us are seeing this in the expansion physically, as you've seen, and probably hopefully in your businesses as well. By 2020, 1 in 5 Texans will be 60 plus. And DFW will be home to a disproportionate share of that group. So as we're thinking about growing our businesses and everything, so this is great for us, right? Like that, the people that we serve are growing here and we can serve them better. But what we'll talk about is how do we even reach them and how does that change? Because that means that there are more seniors and families that are searching for services like yours, but then there's also more competition for attention, right? One of the key things that things keep running a hotspot. One of the key things that I've noticed in the time that I've been in this space is that the seniors that we think we serve, right, that we're seeing every day, are not necessarily the seniors that are going to be the people that we serve coming up. And we see it all the time. If we're creating websites or we're creating brochures and everything like that, we get the stock photo because it's easy, right? And what I've noticed even with myself, and I've had to rethink, is the more we expose ourselves to that version of what a senior is, the more we're ignoring probably the 80% of other seniors who don't see themselves as that. So it comes through in our communication, how we're talking to them and how we're presenting to them. Because my mother's 77, and when she sees those pictures, she's like, "That's not me." So I'm never going to be working with that company. Today's senior carries a tablet. And this is patterned after my mother. This is not her in the picture, but she's 77, as I mentioned. They're FaceTiming grandkids, playing mahjong, my mother's favorite. I don't know where she plays that all the time, right? They're looking up businesses, right? So my mother was trying to come here because she goes everywhere, but she's going online and she's searching, okay, the Allen Senior Center, what's happening there? What's happening at the library? So she's doing this all on her own, obviously referencing me because I'm the technology guy, but she's reading emails, she's paying bills, she's watching church sermons, which Since she started living with us, I was like, whoa, I didn't know that was a thing. But she goes to her church locally here, but she moved from New Jersey. So she watches this, she goes to her church here physically, and then she comes home, and then she watches the replay of the church from New Jersey, right? So yeah, right, she's like, oh, she has a lot of prayers coming up. But again, the key thing here is that they're doing it all on their own. Again, that's in contrast to, again, what we're seeing sometimes too, especially if you're home care or assisted living or rehab, you see them more frail and such, which is a reality. But they don't see themselves that way, and we have to realize that, and again, it comes out in how we're interacting with them. So who is today's senior? 90% of them are online, 99% of them own digital devices, averaging 7 devices per person. So you're talking, again, I'll use my mother as an example. She has a Apple Watch, she has an iPad, another tablet that she plays Mahjong on, which is an Amazon thing. She watches TV, so she has a phone, right, obviously, and then she has another TV, which is a smart TV, right? So just in her space alone, she's talking about 5 different things where she's getting information and she's sorting through all of that on her own. And even as you're talking about seniors who are 85 plus, everyone has a phone, right? Everyone's texting, right? As much as we know that they love to call, the reality is that the people who are getting to be 60, 65, even 70 have grown up with the internet and with technology, right? So they're used to using those things. And again, we have to kind of consider that and think of that as we're interacting with them. And here's a fascinating thing. YouTube, it's exploding with them. As I mentioned, my mother is watching her church sermons, and then she switches to CNN or whatever news, whatever, she has a number of them, and then I have her on the kind of like, she can find like local channels, so she watches shows from New Jersey, and again, all in YouTube. So she's in and out. My father, when he was still alive, the same way. He would go on there, he had somebody he follows, and even more importantly, there are a lot of seniors who are producing content for seniors on YouTube, right? And again, that's relevant to us because this is the experience that this is what they used to. This is what's influencing their decisions when they're coming to talk to you or when they're even communicating with their adult children to engage with different services. So I want to make sure that this is very practical and really down to earth, something that you could take with you now. This is some nuggets. 3 tech behaviors changing how they live and make decisions. I thought this picture was really interesting because that is not what we think of when we think of a senior, right? No. But the reality is that's what it is. Okay, so shift 1, search before trust. So referrals, we all love referrals and we rely on them heavily. But the reality is that just as you do, if someone tells you, hey, or tells me, hey, Kofi, I recommend you go to this place, right? If it's something that's uncertain for me, 9 times out of 10, I'll get on and search, right? What are other people saying? Is this the kind of place I want to be in? What else? What does it say to me? Because I want to make sure that this is something that, again, if we're talking about senior care, you know, whether it be their finances or where they're going to live or what kind of medical services that they're going, it's really, really based on trust. So it's not just the word of mouth and the referrals, but it's like, is that a place or a business that I can trust? And then, yes, now I'm going to reach out to them. So a large part of the seniors that you don't see actually have seen you. And they've made a decision for right or wrong based on what they've seen of you online. So you can imagine that, you know, a daughter will get, you know, home care referral, and then she, you know, first thing she's doing, she's going to go on Google and she's going to search, right, before she calls. And then when she calls, she's trying to match that to what she's seen online, right? So as much as you're telling her and you're doing your best to communicate, she's still, okay, someone referred it, so I have that context, what I've seen online, and then now what are they telling me myself? Now can I trust them? If it's disconnected, even worse so, right? Like, okay, they're saying something different that I didn't know, so I'm not even gonna go down that route. And there's, again, a lot of opportunities for a lot of choice here across, so she's gonna move on to the next one. So 89% of consumers verify with multiple sources. Again, this is stuff that we do, right? Like you're not just going to buy into a financial services just because someone said so. And so your digital footprint either confirms or kills that borrowed trust. So we're relying on those referrals, but we have to make sure that we're doing our parts to reinstate and build that trust. So also, and that reflects on if you're a company that relies on the case managers, if it's not coming through and someone's coming back like, oh, I don't know why you referred me to that person because X, Y, and Z, then the case manager now is also looking at you like, oh, maybe I'm not going to refer them as well, right? Content over code outreach. This is a big part. A lot of us are physically going around and going to meetings like this and doing and running our businesses. But one of the things that in our space is really, really lacking is the content that we're creating besides just brochures, which we're really good at, right? The content that we're creating that's easily accessible to all these seniors and their families online or in any other kind of form, whether it be through email or, I'm not saying they should be a TikTok star, but again, these are things that if you want to, again, build that trust and make sure that they know enough about what you do and what makes you unique compared to the other similar business down the street, it's all about bringing that forward, talking about who you are as a person, why you started that business, if it's something that you're running, what makes you all unique. And one of the ways that you could do that without talking to every single person and hoping that they call is by creating content that resonates with them. So again, going back to video is a huge thing. Something as simple as email. I work with a lot of clients, and very, very few people are sending emails to people in their ecosystem besides case managers. But maybe seniors or their families that didn't buy from you or didn't engage with you. You're not keeping up with them. You're not sending them emails that are informative, not just, oh, we're doing this tomorrow. You're not just self-serving, but something that's making their life better. And that really, again, talking about trust, building trust, and helping them start engaging with your organization, that's a huge part. So you have to be useful first. I know we are all in our business and we love to talk about ourselves, but that's secondary, right? They want to know who you are, how can you help me, and how can you make my life better? Shift 3, convenience wins. It's a huge part in our industry because rightfully so, a lot of times, sometimes we're resource strapped, right? We only have a certain number of people that have a certain territory or, can be online. But unfortunately, seniors and their families, they expect more, right? They're used to calling, AT&T or Verizon in the middle of the night, for whatever reason my father used to call them, and getting someone on the phone that has, or at least not even getting someone who could solve their problem right then, but getting someone on the phone that maybe they'll waste their time talking too much. But, they're used to that interaction. They're used to that 24/7. Now, we can't 100% be there 24/7 individually, but again, understanding that these are the expectations, how can we start thinking about how can we at least give them some level of contact or engagement that allows them to be able to reach out to us, and something that's irrelevant to us might be really important to them. So, and the adult children are researching care for the parents are 100% digital first. When I was, before my father got sick, and he was in New Jersey, they were with my mother in New Jersey, I was down here, my brother's in Atlanta, my sister's in New Jersey, but she's busy. The way we coordinated everything for was online, right? Even for funeral home, when I'm here, I don't know who's up there. My mother says, oh, this person referred them. The first thing we did was go to their website and research them, not just look at their website, but who are the people behind it. I'm extra. I actually did Google searches for the individuals, right? So again, this might be a little bit, but this is the expectation as far as like people. When it comes to senior care, people really want to know that. They want to know who you are because they're inviting you to their life, they're inviting you to their home, in some cases for the rest of their time here with us, and they want to make sure that this is the right decision. There's a lot of anxiety around that, especially for the children, and we want to make sure that, so we're covering all the bases. And a lot of times, we'll choose the easiest options. We don't know, right? I don't know how, I have one parent, one father, one mother, and this is my first time doing it, so whoever I reach out to, the person who reaches out first and meets my expectations as far as trust, is the person I go with. Are they the best? I don't know, right? And I may never know because that's the person who sets the tone, and maybe next time, if someone else in my family needs that service, I'll refer that person as well. So many different things going on. Okay. But yeah, again, so these are the expectations, and this is what they're used to, and this is what we have to deal with, and we have to think about as we're going through our day and how we're actually reaching the people and making sure that they're comfortable with us and that they're buying from us. So again, referrals, because I know we all rely on that. Referrals now finish online, right? As you meet even the case managers, sometimes the case managers that I've spoken to, sometimes they know that the marketing person or whoever moves sometimes from companies, right? So they're verifying that, and they're aware of what how our industry or how our businesses run. So when they're referring and when the seniors and their families are looking for products and services, there's word of mouth, which is a partner referral, the name and phone number shared, right, obviously. But then again, like I mentioned, they're going online, they're doing the Google searches, they're doing a quick scan of your website. And more importantly, if they're seeing you online and at that point they want to get more information, a lot of us don't have a way of them to reach out right then, right? Or even save our information. Like there's a lot of friction, and we'll talk about that in the middle. There's a lot of friction with how they're then reaching out to us. So, and that's, at the end of the day, that's business lost, right? So 3 things you can do this week to reach them faster and easier. Be found, right? Sounds simple, but I'm not gonna go around the room, but we all know, are we visible, are we accessible online? Something as simple as, I know you have tons of marketing people always sending you you have to do your Google business profile. Yes, they're trying to sell you something, but the reality is that it's really, really important, especially in the age of AI, right? We all know, we all heard the stories, and I'm even closer to it as it relates to, can people trust what they see and read online, right? One of the things that over the years has been a source of trust that people do trust is the Google Business Profile, right? And it's not just having one, but it's having the reviews, right? Because that means somebody has vouched for you. It's having some images of people, not just your beautiful office or your beautiful outside, but the people behind there. Again, it's all about connecting with humans, telling stories over time. These are things that you can do with your Google Business Profile that I know a lot of people don't do. But this is an opportunity, it's free opportunity that you could use. Gathering steady reviews, I know a lot of us do our best, and sometimes we feel like, oh, I don't want to be pushy and tell people, but if they're happy with your service and they're happy working with you and they want to refer it to you, why not give them the opportunity to be one of your advocates, right? To give your service, present your service to their community, because they're going to get the benefit from it. Every time I recommend a good, I'm a big foodie, so a good restaurant, SK360, the Thai place down there, you have to go. But yeah, it makes me feel good that if you come back like Kofi, oh my gosh, that place, right? Or, hey, Kofi, I went to see this person and their CPA, oh my gosh, they helped me, right? So it makes you feel good. So let's think of it more about being found and enabling them to also be a part of your journey and a part of empowering the people that they're interacting with. So you have to show up in more near-me places, location. You can physically go places, but you can't go everywhere in this big area as it grows. So how can you be found even when you're not physically there or you're not even physically open? Be trusted. Trust is big. We know, I don't have to reiterate that. It's health. People inviting you to their home. We talked about all the different ways that you could be trusted. Share one practical tip. This is all part of it, building trust over time, right? Share the practical tip. My mother forwards, maybe similar to a lot of you, she texts and emails all kinds of tips and good resources to everyone all the time, right? And again, that's part of being trusted. So you want to fuel that, you want to empower them, so give them things to share. If it's about the wellness center, you gave a really good presentation, talked about it. How can I quickly forward that to someone, right? So again, if you think about this, we're already doing the work, we're already creating the brochures, we're already doing all the things. How can we digitize it or make it accessible where they could download it themselves, a PDF version, or they could send an email, or we send an email to them and then they forward that forward. And answer their questions. Again, it's not just about, this is what we do, this is how we are, you should come, but answer their questions about finance, answer the question about funeral preparation, answer the question about rehab, right? They want to know, and the more you become that resource, the more they trust you, the more they engage with you. And then finally, be easy. I know, I know. Make the interactions as friction-free as possible within reason. If you can't do all the things, you can't be on social media and do all the things, just concentrate on the ones that make the most sense for you that you can manage and make it friction-free. People don't expect you to be everywhere, but the places that you are, they expect it to be easy for them to digest what you're doing and then be able to reach out to you. That's table stakes right now, right? So, mobile-friendly web pages. Again, my mother she doesn't even have a laptop even, right? So she's on her tablet, she's on her phone. Can she go to your website and click there and call you? Hopefully, right? Can she email you back from the website, not just a contact form, because that's fine, but how many times have we filled out a contact form and we're like, I don't know where that went, and maybe nobody comes back to us. It's just kind of right? So how do we make that friction-free? Click to call, again, these are all things that, they might sound really complicated to implement, but in the age of technology and AI, everything's like way easier. And if you want to talk about those ideas, I'm happy to share some of those later. Automated replies and communication. I know sometimes we're saying, no, I don't want anyone. I'm the one with the information. I want them to talk to me, right? Well, one, you're going to get overwhelmed, so there's that. And you're going to miss out on some people. But how can you have a portion of you and your voice and what you're serving that's available to someone that they can either subscribe or, in some cases, there's you could go to a website and then you have frequently asked questions, and then people ask the question to the website, because again, it's still you, and they have that basic information, and it then starts giving them information, so now they want to reach out to you directly. And test it yourself on the phone. Make sure that you're seeing what they're seeing, right? And not the beautiful version that maybe your web designer decided that this is what they're gonna show you, but it doesn't work on mobile and all that kind of stuff. So start testing it, and it should be mobile first. I don't know who buys desktop computers anymore. Maybe they buy a laptop, but nobody has a desktop, so. Getting towards the end, in 2026 is all about trust and convenience, and that's what wins. It's not the best, it's not necessarily the most inexpensive. It's about, do they trust you to do what you're doing, and are you convenient? Sometimes that's physical, and sometimes that's just based on communication, right? When I was communicating with the funeral home in New Jersey for my father, one of the reasons why I stayed with them and I chose them was because they were, you go to their website, you click, they call, somebody responds to you, they're sending you information, they're following up with you, right? Convenient, great. I don't want to do this. I'm in trauma, right? I don't want to go through this, but that convenience is what wins. Again, not necessarily that you're the best. That's, relative to you. So trust gets considered, convenience gets you chosen, and the way you win is by being found, trusted, and easy to reach, and understanding that digital it's not just digital or offline or print, it's both, right? So how are you leveraging both platforms and not just talking about yourself in all contexts? And then finally, here's a bonus. We created a tool. It's a free tool that will help you. You can answer 15 questions, and it'll help you. It'll give you a barometer of where your trust is right now. So you can scan the QR code. Again, go there. I've seen so many different contexts and stuff like that we put together these questions where you answer it. And again, just understanding where you are currently and what you have to work with and work towards is how we're trying to at least enable and empower everyone else. The more you know about where you are, the more you know what you're either what you want to do, and then how other people are seeing you and how other people are interacting with you. So that's my talk. Again, Kofi Annan, the brand sensei, and also dfwcarehub.com, plug. It's a free resource. If you're not listed already, get in contact with me. I'll list you on there. It's free. There's no leads. People, seniors in their families who already had 30,000 of them go through the website since January alone. Put your email, your phone number, everything, and they just contact you. I don't need to manage that relationship. You just do it. And that's it. Thank you. Yes.
We're seeing so many seniors being scammed now.
Mm-hmm.
Last year alone, so we can bump that number up. Do you think that there will ever be a way that we can protect, well, everybody, not just seniors, that we can protect ourselves more as AI becomes more prevalent, it becomes better, the voiceovers and all of that? Is there ever going to be a way where we can be more safe and not fall victim?
The uneasy answer is it's never 100%, right? And forget AI, like now, someone just candy. And I was talking to my mother the other day about something like that. But, right, so AI AI only amplifies what already exists in any context, right? And that's a good thing and a bad thing. If you have trust, if you have a good service that delivers, and you're able to communicate that in an honest way through video or however, people are going to find that, right? And even more so, a lot of the technology companies, Google, Facebook, and everything like that, they're now course correcting to push more of the real human stories and the real humans behind businesses, right? So again, something like Google Business Profile, even social media, Facebook is, for instance, is now like actively going through and scrubbing all the AI content. YouTube the same way, right? They're actively going there. But then when they scrub all that, what are they left with, right? The 2 or 3 people who have bothered to raise their hand and be present and tell their story and show their face. For some reason, a lot of people don't want to show their face for their company. I don't know. But, maybe I'm an extrovert, so maybe there's that. But, show that there's a real human behind that, right? So the short answer is that no, there's never going to be a way where it's never going to be a problem. But we're at the stage now, even with AI, where the AI now is killing AI that doesn't build trust, right? Yeah. So I could dive into, and there are ways that, from a business perspective, there's ways that you can leverage AI to do exactly that as well.
Awesome.
Any other questions?
And
Thank you.
noticed he has been recording everything, so
Yes.
we're gonna be able to share that with everyone.
Oh,
Yes.
awesome.
Thank you,
Any other
everyone.
questions? No? All right, well,
All right.
thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.